And not only that, I've taken a lot of time off in between episodes and such.
You have.
Sorry, we were just kind of shooting. Don Kincaid, stirring the pot. A face-to-face like we used to do back in the day. My first 25 was face-to-face. And then the world turned to shit. And then everything else after that. And we are up to episode 393.
393.
This is 393. This is Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid and our very special guest. One infamous Ryan Frost, my man. A pleasure.
Good to see you.
Face-to-face. Mi amigo, right here.
This is, you and I have two of the existing original TOS hats.
Why, did Bobby lose his?
No, Bobby has his.
Oh, okay.
Jeter has his.
Oh, okay.
You and me.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right. Before we get into the Frost, and we're starting off with Training Day, but this past Training Day 53, speaking of Bobby Ocean, there's been a new chant at the dojo. And I don't know if you've heard it, because you just made your return after 4 months.
Yeah.
So, the past couple training days, there's been a new chant for one Bobby Ocean. Did you hear it at this past Training Day 53?
I did, but you can always say it again, because it's so hilarious.
Bobby Puddle. Bobby Puddle.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
So much fun.
He has it coming.
I say, I will not take credit for that. That is all Maxie.
Oh, it is?
Maxie and Nick. Good stuff.
They have become some of my favorite fans.
Staples.
Yeah, they're awesome. Mm-hmm. They're great. It's good to see them. And I mean, the last time I was on Stirring the Pot, we didn't even have them yet.
No.
Yeah.
No, and it's been a minute.
It's been a long time.
Let's see. You, about a year and a half ago, you came on. And we did a Frost Force thing with legitimately the Frost Force.
Yeah.
Before that, I want to say it's been just a smidge, over 2 years that we haven't talked face-to-face, a mano a mano, even on Skype. So this is actually very nice for me. Well, the last face-to-face I did was with the GM a couple hot minutes ago.
Yep.
And we are at a disclosed location. And
so if it's...
Oh, go ahead.
I don't mean to be a grammar person, but if it's disclosed, then we'll tell you that we're at the Black Rock Tavern in Thomaston. If it's undisclosed, then they have no idea.
Oh, then it's See, I've been saying a disclosed. No one.
But I want to shout out the Black Rock Tavern, because this place is great. The food is fantastic.
It
is. Drinks are affordable. It's definitely a good spot to come by, especially on a Sunday. You might recognize the bartender.
You may. I do smoke a lot, so I apologize for...
Hang on, can we pause? What's going on?
Are you guys closed?
Yeah. The restaurant's only open on from Wednesday to Sunday. I'm just doing a little interview thing. I'm sorry.
Sorry about that.
No problem, man.
It's quite all right.
Come on a Sunday night, man. I'll be here.
Yeah. We're not stopping. We don't pause.
Yeah.
That's just staying right where it is.
That's hilarious.
Organic.
Yeah,
just as Ryan Frost Force.
So like I said, come by on a Sunday night. But not a Monday or Tuesday.
Was entitled Organic, if you will. So that's organic right there.
That's hilarious.
We don't take shit out.
No.
We just let it roll.
Yeah.
Even Mike Skyros was asking me to edit some stuff. I'm like, no, we're good.
What is he hiding? That vampire son of a bitch.
Mr. Frost, we have known each other for, let's see, carry to 3, divide by 7, multiply by 7, about 5-7 years now, I'm going to say.
Definitely 7 if it's only through wrestling.
Yes.
If we had encountered each other when I was singing for bands...
And the musica.
I would... you're going to have to forgive me, because there was some alcohol involved in those years, so I may not have remembered, but 7 years in wrestling.
We may have crossed paths at Cook's. At one time or another.
Cooks.
What a
Cherry
hell of a,
Street.
What a hell of a place.
Bleachers.
Cooks was my home away from home when I was not jamming.
Oh, yeah.
And seeing my friends out there and seeing, what other talent was out there and shit. We could sit here and...
Cooks, damn it.
We could sit here and chat for hours and hours.
I love Cooks.
Miss it so much.
Oh, yeah.
Mark, what an amazing human. But
Heartbreaking.
This is about Ryan Frost, boys and girls. I don't know how close you have not or have been paying attention, but Mr. Frost has been off for about 4 months or so.
At Test of Strength.
Specifically.
Yes.
Now, we've missed you at Test of Strength. And also,
I certainly missed it.
There's been one Johnny Medina running around, causing chaos, mouthing off, wearing crazy Ryan Frost t-shirts. He has a stolen Ryan Frost kendo stick. There's just been months of Johnny Medina, which I wish I could erase from my brain, but now it's just there. But in the meantime, I've actually did an STP with one Mr. Medina.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And he spoke of the TOS history that he was part of pretty much right from the beginning, right from the get, if you will.
Sure.
Now, we're going to talk about all of that history, but let's talk about your return coming back to Training Day. We were at Training Day 53, this past Sunday being last night, or yesterday afternoon, I should say. It was at 2 p.m. And if you haven't been there, 87 Church Street in East Hartford at the TOS Dojo. It's a smallish venue. When I say small, it's very intimate. It's a room with a ring and about 30 chairs at best, with a few people standing up that didn't get tickets. Please come down.
It's the school, right? It's where we train, and
yes,
and we get all the stuff out and set up. You can fit about 30 people in there, you know, and it's a great opportunity to let guys who are still really like breaking in, get them in front of a crowd. It's a great opportunity for us to see and experience talent from all over. People literally come from all over to do training days.
I have seen it as a fan from when they come into the ring at training days, but I've also seen a little behind the scenes once in a while where you get some of these guys that just... You had the bass player from Living Color. You've had... I don't know his... Sydney, thank you.
Sydney Akeem.
Yes, he did a pop-in.
Yeah.
You've had multiple talents come in through that dojo, those dojo doors.
I mean, you know, not to be too much of a homer here, but Sydney Akeem took his first bumps in a Test of Strength ring at the dojo.
Oh, wow.
He was still working for Cirque du Soleil.
Interesting.
Yes.
Oh.
I might have been in the room.
Okay, you might have been.
I'm not taking any credit at all for anything he's ever done.
Okay.
But I was there the first time he trained.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool.
Wow. Isn't that a little fun fact of one Ryan Frost? And I'm just going to... This doesn't make for good TV when I walk away, but I just want to check. If this is not recording, this is going to really suck.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, so...
That's okay.
It's been a minute since I've done one, and it is recording. Okay. All right, we're rolling along here.
But yeah, so coming back to Training Day was obviously a blessing. It was my second match of the year. I only had my first match of the year that Friday for PvP. And, you know, I wrestled, you know, all over. You know, I did my non-TOS matches during my absence.
Right.
The issue, and I didn't know why Johnny attacked me at the time. That was it completely blindsided me because I knew the kid.
Okay.
I know him by association. I know that he's friends with TJ and Ty Shine. And,
okay.
And, you know, I know when he first debuted and he was doing this thing like around 8 years ago, he was under a hood and
he was.
I thought like we were cool. I was just like, oh, this guy who used to be in Test of Strength might be coming back. That's cool. And then when he attacked me, he went all out and really went after my leg. I mean, you've seen. And I, you know, I owe everything in the world as a professional wrestler to Slick Wagner Brown. However, we have also seen how the Underground King has treated me during matches and after the Test of Strength Championship. All of that. We've seen all that. So
it's a checkered past between you and Slick.
You know, the fact that I was not cleared by Test of Strength for 4 months, but I was able to wrestle other places.
Okay.
It's more that bureaucratic red tape bullshit. It's TOS, which I love and will always represent until the day I die. But it's the nepotism. It's him protecting the first class guys who are now like jealous of how great the current crop of talent is. You know, the Ichibans, the Sammy Diaz's, the Patrick Saints, the Red Sawyers, the Young Boys. We're getting into the Super Fros, the Piccianis. All these people are coming through, and Johnny was sitting there watching, or maybe he wasn't watching. Maybe he was too bitter that he couldn't do it for 8 years, not doing it. Mm-hmm. So I get that he's a little jealous, but like, why is he taking it out on me? What did I do to him?
Right.
I didn't do shit. I may have earned my spot. I may have earned the adoration and the support of the fans, even despite the fact that I wasn't very likable when I started.
That was a different day.
It was. But, like, you know, I would think that the fact that I had done that while he was gone, he would come in and respect that, not actually resent it and attack me because of it.
Being an original, seeing it from a distance, if he has seen it, you think he would appreciate what is happening at the dojo.
How about the fact that I, it hurts me because I am a humble person, I like to think, you know. But I believe I have helped Test of Strength grow in ways, both through competing and behind the scenes, as you would say. Like, I try to do everything I can to help the dojo, help give us more opportunities, different opportunities. I support all of our guys, even when I'm kind of beefing with somebody. I'm always trying to support them, share their stuff.
Okay.
So it's an extremely personal attack, and it might be one of the most personal attacks I've encountered in any wrestling promotion.
Wow.
Out of nowhere. Like, I had shaken this guy's hand and said, like, hi, cool to meet you. Oh, you're friends with TJ, cool. You know?
Wow. And so it's turned into all of this.
All of this, you know?
Huh.
So yeah, it's a little, like, it's infuriating, but it's also confusing to me.
You know what also is confusing, if I may just piggyback on that? We've seen, as you've been gone, the likes of Johnny Medina taking out Pretty Poppy, Magic Man, Giorgio Lawrence.
So I just went through that whole list of people, right?
Yes.
Poppy, Magic Man through TOS, Giorgio. I know I think he's had a few classes with the school. He has his own training.
He's out of the NY area, correct?
But he's at every single training day.
Yeah.
He does everything he can to be at every Test of Strength event he can be at. So as far as I'm concerned, like a Mike Skyros or like a Brother Greatness, he's TOS by association.
Okay.
Those guys came out and helped me when this little son of a bitch attacked me.
Yeah.
So then he targets them, knowing that the brass isn't going to let me in the building, knowing they're not going to let me help, and then accusing me of abandoning them.
Right.
So I had to wait until I knew I was so healthy that you can't tell me I'm not.
100 is 100.
You know, the broken thumb, it's always going to be kind of weird and never bend right again, but that's not...
A little funky.
It's a little funky. But that's it. So it's just, I mean, Lone Survivor, I did manage to procure the match where it'll be myself, Giorgio, Magic Man, and Poppy. I thought it was going to be us because they're the ones who's helped me, so I want them on my side, and I want to be on their side.
Okay.
And I want to go after Johnny and whoever he's with.
Right.
Ty Shine, that's actually, you know, there's a lot of animosity here, but that's a match I've wanted since I started. When I started training at Test of Strength, Ty Shine became my favorite wrestler.
Can I just say that you and other wrestlers within the TOS confines that have come out of that dojo have all, and I do literally mean all, say that Ty Shine is one of the best wrestlers that they've ever encountered, and they want to challenge themselves against Ty Shine, and you were in that bracket.
You know, I say, and I will say until it isn't true anymore to me, that Ichiban is the best wrestler in the world, right? But I think Ty Shine is the most naturally gifted professional wrestler I've ever seen on television or otherwise. Like, it's so effortless. Like, whatever he does, it just fits, and it's right.
Well, he's not too smooth when he gets in the ring. He fell on his face. That was hilarious.
I mean, I think he was a little scared, but you know, it's going to be a pleasure, an honor, a privilege to wrestle against him. But he's on the wrong side of this too, so I'm gonna beat his ass.
Yeah.
But TJ,
yeah. Can we just pause right there for a second? We're gonna come back to TJ.
Yeah.
Those two letters. At 53, training day 53 yesterday, what happened was Big Money he had his barber shop, and he does a little talk show, like a Piper's Pit or what have you. And he brings the talents out. And the first one was Johnny.
He's a dick, but he's hilarious.
Yeah, he is kind of funny. And we have a very. He was stuffing money in my jacket yesterday because he said he wanted to feed the homeless.
Sorry, I didn't know that. That's funny. I'm sorry.
It's not that funny, but me and Terry had a crack up over it. It was freaking hilarious.
Well, he had to put some money in Terry's pocket too, then. I mean, if he's gonna call you home, I love you, Terry.
So we're at training day 53, Big Money Barbershop. TJ Howell III is the guest. Now, all along, I never expected anybody else to come out because I figured we were going to hear from TJ Howell III. Mm-hmm. Out comes Johnny Medina. He starts rambling something about back in the original days at Tesla Strength when it was in a warehouse with a leaky ceiling and all of this
Down
stuff.
the street from where I lived.
Okay.
And I was going to Cheshire to train somewhere else. What?
Now, he was talking to us, the fans, and giving us this history. Well, he was talking to TJ, but at the same time, the fans, maybe they haven't been around TOS much. And I didn't know the entire history until I actually interviewed Mr. Medina. Mm-hmm. So when I hear a guy like Jim Cornette talk about, you need to set up your fans, that was perfect. Because now we're getting all of this history.
Right.
Okay, so now we have TJ Howell in the
exposition.
Ring. And then we have Johnny Medina. And out comes Ty Shine. And I'm probably making way too much noise for this microphone by banging it on the table. But Ty mother bleeping Shine pops out. And then things get crazy in the ring because we had Magic Man, Giorgio Lawrence, and Pretty Poppy come out.
They came out to protect TJ because Ty, who I didn't expect to see either, by the way, was so, I want to say aggressive, I want to say forceful about
That's fair.
The fact that TJ should be helping Johnny.
Right.
Like, slapped him.
Right.
Pretty hard. So, Magic Man, Poppy, Giorgio, they know that they have to monitor what Johnny Medina's doing. Mm-hmm. This little psychopath, I keep calling him. He's not that little, but I'm trying to pick on him.
He is a psychopath.
They were trying to protect TJ, from Ty and Johnny, because they thought, well, that's Frosty's partner. Mm-hmm. They've been through everything together. Mm-hmm. There's no way he's gonna join them, so we better help.
And me and, I'll reverse it, Terry and we were matching yesterday at training day. We had the Cold Cash is Okay shirts.
Well, last week, TJ put out new Cold Cash shirts.
Yes.
On his pro wrestling team.
Yes, that's why
I do not encourage you to buy anymore.
But that's why I wore it.
Well, you can buy the Frost one. Don't buy the TJ.
And I've always said Cold Cash is not okay. Even when they were okay, I always said they were not okay. For me to break that out, that was a little, something, because I really thought Cold Cash was okay. So
and then you're thinking, I'm going to need some help against Johnny and whoever he's got.
Exactly. And TJ is wielding your kendo stick in that TOS ring.
Last time I saw him with that, he was taking a chunk out of my hide. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
with all of that history, you come out during a melee where Ty Shine is beating someone over here. Johnny Medina is beating someone over here. While TJ Howell was just standing there with the kendo stick and looking like I'm on this moral fence of what I'm supposed to do right now. Out comes the returning Ryan Fraust after 4
months. Well, it wasn't
months.
much of a moral fence because he caned the shit out of Magic Man from behind.
Well, there was
that was his decision. That's the point where he said to me, whether he knew he was saying it to me or not, he very clearly declared, I have chosen my side. And to me, that was it. That was enough. Like, I was there. Nobody knew I was there. I don't think anybody knew I was there. I didn't tell anyone verbatim that I was going to be there. You know what I mean? I knew that I was so healthy that there was no way that anybody could stop me from performing. So,
oh, wow. Oh, see, no editing. Look at this.
No editing.
Look at this.
Come on.
Boys and girls.
Get in.
Boy, come. Go over here by Frosty. The camera will pick you right up, my man. Look at this. Scotty.
Speaking of friends who I've beaten up before.
Why would you do that? He just walked in the door.
Oh, we're talking about friends that I've beaten up before.
And he's smiling about it, so I guess we're good.
So Scotty was like, "Hey, are you working?" And sorry.
Oh,
and
no.
I was like, "No, but I'm doing this thing with Kincaid. You should swing by and say hi."
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh.
I figured you'd be surprised.
That is absolutely gorgeous. Oh.
So, to wrap that point up real quick, so it was really annoying. I was there. I knew I was there. I knew if they tried to do anything to or against Poppy, Magic, or Giorgio, I was going to intervene.
Mm-hmm.
But if they didn't, I was going to come out and just talk to everybody and say, hey, I've got this match approved, so at Lone Survivor, I'm going to fight you guys.
All right.
I was waiting for that. I was going to do it civilly. And still wanted to surprise everybody because, who doesn't love a good pop?
No.
But
that's what we love in wrestling. That's why I don't do the dirt sheet stuff, you know?
Yeah. So as soon as TJ hit, and you'll notice, I didn't give them a lot of time to beat my friends up.
No.
TJ hit him, and I said, oh, you son of a bitch. And, I was running from, not the back, I was outside.
Oh.
Because I didn't want anyone to know I was there.
Okay.
I couldn't be in the locker room with these guys.
Okay.
So as soon as I heard the crack, and I heard the crowd go, oh, I knew.
It was time.
So you'll notice my music hits because they see me running to them. They're like, oh shit, Frosty's here. It's, of course they all fled despite having the superior numbers and despite having the stick. Mm-hmm. Of course they fled because I still would have wrecked all three of them without hesitation, without a doubt. Mm-hmm. I would have killed TJ and asked questions later.
Okay.
Because he made his choice and that's it. Even if he which he hasn't, even if he texts me, even if he calls me, and he says, Frosty, listen, man, this is why. I'm sorry. I'm going to back out of the match. You did it.
What's done is done right now.
How am I supposed to forgive you for attacking someone from behind with a Singapore cane when that's what you did to me?
Right.
And we got through that, and we moved past that. Now you did it to one of my friends. That's it. Now I know who you are. This is who you are. There's no coming back from it.
I really thought last training day when he came out and he was helping on the side of Frost and Friends. It seemed like
it did.
That's why the Cold Cash is okay shirt
Well, when I
out.
saw it when I was watching Training Day 52,
yeah,
I was like, oh, cool, Tej.
Exactly.
Thanks.
That's where we were at. And then 53, the script got flipped, man. And all of this stuff happened. So now the setup at Lone Survivor 6 is going to be Frosty, Giorgio Lawrence, Pretty Poppy, and Magic Man against the TOS originals being Johnny Medina, TJ Hell III, Ty Shine, and we need a fourth member. My question for that setup, because I'm sure your brain has been being racked, who the hell are they going to get? How is this going to go? It doesn't matter. I'm going to take them all out. Are there any originals out there? Because Medina came out of nowhere, my friend.
I'll tell you.
I know he was on a hiatus.
There's
never
this
knew
kid,
of
Marcus, who trained with them, and he was talented.
Okay.
I could see that happening.
Really?
But you look back, dude. Eddie Edwards is Wagner's first student.
Oh shit!
Oh
my!
Christian Casanova. I mean, he's somewhere else with a different name right now.
And he was at Training Day 1.
He was at Training Day 1.
Yeah.
Anthony Green. There's so many people that they could bring up from the past. I hope Wagner Brown is too scared to defend the K1 and joins their team.
Oh, shit.
Go ahead. You go with your first class. You defend them against me.
Wow.
Let's see what happens. But I have no idea. I have no way of knowing. It's not, this isn't like me just being coy.
Right.
Get whoever you want. I hope it's any of those guys, or honestly, I know it's not Bobby. I know it's not Bobby Ocean because he's in the Lone Survivor match.
Right.
And I know it's not going to be BRG or Chris Masters or Courageous Christina Marie. I know it's not going to be any of them.
Which is amazing.
We laugh, but it could be.
Christina Marie will take on all comers.
But none of them are first class test of strength.
Okay.
And that's the challenge I laid out.
Okay. What was the first class?
Was you get more people like-minded, like you, who trained at the early test of strength. And then the last thing I'm going to say about it, because we have so much other shit to talk about, right?
Please, yes.
The last thing I'm going to say about it is, I thought I was a TOSOG. I thought I was a test of strength. I wasn't in the very first class. I did not train at Echo Lake Road in Watertown. I was at Fight for Your Dreams 1.
Okay.
In fact, your favorite wrestler and I stole the show.
You got put through a table.
I have done so much for test of strength. I've bled black and white for almost 7 years now. How are you going to act like I'm encroaching on what you're doing? You should be trying to be on my team. But now, I'm so proud of all the guys who have not graduated, but the guys who have debuted recently.
And upcoming, yes.
P.D. Gianni's a punk. And I know we're going to have some beef at some point because he's just a loudmouth. He
just gave Super Frodio in.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. I saw that coming.
Yeah.
I was wondering how Super Fro could even look the other direction
with
PD behind
yes.
him. Like you knew this was coming. But I'm proud of Pete.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job. He, like me, and like Johnny Medina.
Right.
Actually, maybe it'll be Pete. But
it could be, because he's a returning.
He's not in the Lone Survivor match because Super Fro beat his ass. No. But it could be him. But the thing about these guys is that I love and am so proud of all of them. Like, I really am. Right. And whether they love me in return or not is not, I mean, it's my concern. Of course, I would like to be liked, but it doesn't matter. Right. Because even if they don't give a shit about me, even if they don't care about my opinion, even if they don't want to hear any advice, even if they think they know it all, I'm still really proud of them. And I'm still really happy that they came through what I think is the best training school in the Northeast. And I will stand with them against people who I thought would embrace me as being an early test of strength student, but they're not. They want to be against me. Fine. I'll be the old man, like PvP called me. I'll be the old man with the young kids, and we're gonna stomp a hole in all your chests. I mean, I think it's gonna be an elimination tag match, if I'm not mistaken, and I think.
Oh, wow!
And I boldly predict we go up 4-0, sweep it. See you later.
All right. So I'm looking up, and oh wow, man, they've got. Boy, do they have some events laid out already on their site.
Wags does it all year.
Holy cow!
He'll put the whole year out, and then sometimes they change.
Right.
I missed Fight for Your Dream 6 because PPH and I, as the Beastmasters, had won the AXW Tag Team Championships in Pennsylvania. Okay. So I missed, I don't think it was Lone Survivor. I missed Undeniable, which, that's my event. I missed Undeniable, and I missed Fight for Your Dream 6 because I was defending Tag Team Championships there because I had blocked off our date for Test of Strength. Okay. And the date changed because the venue changed. Right. And that's not, I actually don't blame Wagner. Right. These things happen.
You got to do what you got to do.
And, that's the only way I would ever miss a test of strength event outside of the recent circumstances. I would like to give Scott a chance to talk to you for a second.
Oh, really?
Since you don't want to pause.
Oh, yeah. No. We don't pause.
And then I can jump back in and we can talk about it. Yeah. Did you have any other closing statements about the...
No, I just wanted to put out the little deets here. We have Lone Survivor 6. It's going to be Saturday, March 8th at 7 p.m. and it's going to be at 1076 Thorndike Street in Palmer, Massachusetts, the St. Thomas Church Parish.
The site of Ty Shine's first professional wrestling match.
Get out of here.
True.
Really?
TJ Howell III was there as a fan.
Oh, wow. That ought to have been
history.
History.
A lot of history here.
And it's coming it's coming to head. Together. On March 8th, my friend.
And we're going to talk more about BRG, too, I'm
yes,
sure.
Oh, that's coming up next.
But Chris Masters, Brett Ryan Gosselin.
Christina, the return of Christina Marie.
She's great.
Love Christina.
Her and Jim were tight, and she's up in New York. I don't see her a lot, but she's always really nice to me. Yeah, she's cool.
Great talent, Christina. I got drunk with her.
I believe you.
I was drinking moonshine on SCP.
I don't believe you drinking.
No, I drank moonshine.
Okay.
Yeah, while me and Christina Marie, we chit-chatted. So she said, we haven't drinking in a while either. She popped a couple open, and we were just shooting the shh on SCP. It was hilarious. Good stuff, good times. Love me some Christina Marie.
Put over.
Boys and girls.
All right.
How in the bleep does this happen? You come from Frosty, and you get Frosty in Anarchy. My friend, it's been a hot minute, my man.
It's been a while.
I see you are doing your thing musically. You've changed gears, and I just wanted to touch upon that real quick. I don't even know what the fuck he's doing here, but I wanted to touch upon that, especially with you sitting down and Frosty kind of doing the chair change. This material that you guys have, I haven't been able to see you guys live. Charlottes and taxes and Charlottes. IRS comes out. It's Charlottes and taxes.
Tax collectors and harlots. Actually,
We're so fucking close.
the most wrestling thing you could ever do is wear your own shirt for a podcast that you didn't
Harlot
plan on doing.
The material has been built from the ground up.
Yes.
I always correlate wrestling and music and say they are phenomenally incorporated to one another.
Yes.
All across all from going to the booker and getting the envelope and all sorts of goodies that associates music and wrestling together. Tell us, the fans, do you think you could correlate it with wrestling, trying to build music from the ground up like that and correlate it to wrestling? Is it like joining the school and starting from scratch? Is it like being in a year and have some kind of a foundation and you need more to build off of? How would it kind of correlate to wrestling? Because you, my friend, are very associated, have been, with wrestling at the same time. And I know making original music has got to be painstaking up here. How does it correlate to wrestling at all?
I mean, I grew up doing wrestling. I grew up doing theater. I grew up playing music, and I grew up entertaining. I think, like, as far as Tax Collectors and Harlots goes, I think, Crossing Rubicon, my previous band, there was never a moment where someone said this band is over. It was just, it was like we released our second album right before the pandemic, and we couldn't do anything. And personally, I started writing it for about a year afterwards, and because I wanted to get back into it, because I didn't want, I spent 10 years of my life, getting away from business, getting away from making money to be comfortable in life, because I wanted to pursue music full time. And thank you. And when it was taken away from me, it was like losing a kid. It was devastating. And it was also devastating that, like, people that were involved, it's just like they also lost interest. And it was, a lot of it was probably on me. A lot of it was probably, I did not expect about talking about any of this. A lot of it was probably on me, because I was very motivated and very, I kind of had a big stick sometimes when it came to, working with musicians, working with producers, working with shows. And
yeah, but there's always one guy that has to do a little multitude more than the others within the band. I've been there.
Yeah.
The stress, it's very heavy, my friend.
Yes, it is.
And I know this is probably not where you ever expected this conversation to go, but with me being in the music in my past life, I mean, I do jam a little bit here and there. I can't come up with a goddamn original song to save my life. Maybe I can chop up some shit and it could sound okay, but I've never put anything together. So for me, seeing musicians go from something that was already established and to see it kind of fizzle away, and then to see you start something new from the ground up with different material, my friend, I know that's not an easy task.
Maybe not easy, but necessary. It's like breathing. It's like I have to, and a lot of times too, working when it comes to creating an idea, like there's definitely songs that I wrote before Tax Collectors and Harlots came together, and a lot of those songs, like there wasn't a lot, but it was literally like, I just want to record some stuff and release it, and 15 people listen to it and at least know where my head is at. That was it. And I started working with James Hilton, who was a friend of mine that I became very good friends with during the pandemic. That I played with his other band, No Honor Among Thieves, a month before the pandemic started, and he wasn't in the band yet, and he had joined that band, and I met this guy in the meantime, and I'm like, this guy's awesome. Like, he's a really cool guy. I mean, he's talked me off of a couple roofs, and he was like, oh, I'm in No Honor Among Thieves. And I'm like, you weren't in the... He was like, no, I joined them like 2 weeks after you played with them, and next thing you know, I was like, would you want to record some stuff with me? And I'm like, I can play guitar, but we definitely need a good guitar player to play like leads and stuff, because I'm definitely not that guy.
Right.
And we brought a guitar player in, and next thing you know, he started adding something to it, and James started adding something to it, and then we brought in, Andrew. We brought in Rhodey, like these other guys. Like, so as much as it's like creating something and have it being different, it was always like, well, it's different because of the people I'm playing with.
Right.
I come up with an idea, and these guys put things on top of it, or they come up with an idea, and I put something on top of it. And I think every single element of Rubicon and every single element of Tax Collectors and Harlots is not just me, but people working together as a team.
Right.
Not very different than wrestling. It's like, what is the best thing we can do for the song at any given time? And I don't do it all myself. It's definitely a team effort, and just like wrestling, if someone's going to push you in a power bomb and they want you to have a good time with it, you're going to have a good time with it. But you don't have somebody else throwing you over their head and dropping you if you don't trust them.
Right.
So it's not a want, it's a necessity. It's to be producing, to be creating, to be talking, and to be saying something.
So I noticed you haven't been around the wrestling scene in the ring at all since, the whole little thing that we did with Frosty and company and at Battlefront. And my man, I don't care who says what about who or what or what or what or who. Battlefront was some of the most fucking fun times I've ever had in my entire wrestling life.
It was.
So much fun. From top to bottom. I don't give a shit.
I do agree.
Yeah, it was a blast.
So, what is bringing you to the table right now? I know I jumped on the music.
Yeah.
Because I've seen what you were doing and building. And I know it's not easy. So I kind of just really wanted to touch upon that. And I have no idea why you're here. Not that I don't want you to go away.
I don't either. I texted Frost and he said, you guys are like, oh, it'd be nice to see Don. I didn't think I'd walk into this.
Now, we have...
This is a shoot, brother.
We have kind of DM'd really not that long ago. Does that have anything to do with maybe why you're sitting down right now?
I'm going to say absolutely not, but it's convenient. No, I'm like,
I thought you were going to talk. I thought you were going to. Well, see, I started this new porn career, and
so no, I texted Ryan. He's like, I'm talking to Don. I'm like, in reality, I didn't know that this was happening.
Okay.
I was like, well, isn't this convenient? It wasn't even like that at all. It'd be cool to see Don. It'd be cool to see Frosty. No, I about last April, Ryan hit me up about this company that does wrestling with rock music, burlesque, and drag.
Ah, yes.
And some of my biggest passions: wrestling, music. I've done my fair share of burlesque and drag, and theater. And what Ryan hooked me up with the show. I met Tim Murray, who is the creating mind behind all of it. And it was the most punk rock atmosphere I was ever involved in. It was art. It was where, the wrestling is important, the drag and the burlesque is important, the bands are important, but seeing those elements work together and intertwine with each other and bring in an audience to go to a show where, just like a professional wrestling show in general, you don't know what to expect. You have talented people doing talented things, and you may have a burlesque dancer who knows how to wrestle.
Oh.
You may have a musician that knows how to do burlesque. You may have a situation where something can happen out of the ordinary, and being that of itself, the art of wrestling, the art of burlesque and drag and the art of music, it doesn't necessarily have to be, well, it's time to see this band, it's time to watch this wrestling match, it's time to watch this burlesque performer. You never know what's going to happen. So the show itself, like every single show that they do, turns into a different theatrical experience.
Huh.
And I always say professional wrestling is like a live action movie with where they do all their own stunts. And there's other people that can do those stunts too, and there's other people that can perform other things that are entertaining, and other people have these talents. And to me, it's like putting on an off Broadway show with all of these elements combined.
Right.
And it's something that I was like really excited about. The people there, people use the term mark a lot. And when I was going to wrestling school, my teacher said, he was like, somebody called somebody a mark. He was like, what's wrong with that? He's like, you're paying $4,000 to go to a school to be a professional wrestler. You're the biggest mark of them all.
Yeah.
So I could proudly say I'm one of the biggest marks of them all. And this show is something it's unique, it's different. It's not just a professional wrestling show. Mm-hmm. And there's definitely a message. There's definitely a story of unity that they're trying to do. Mm-hmm. The people that work in it, you have to be in favor of the message that they're trying to convey.
Okay.
Like it's definitely like a place where people can go to be entertained and be safe.
Okay.
And we're dealing with lots of different diverse people, and they all have that same message.
So my vision when I first heard of this concept, because they've had a couple runs already.
Yes.
In the Rhode Island area, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. My vision was, it's just a chaotic scene of everything going on at the same time. The sensories are going crazy.
Yes.
Please explain to us, is that what's going on?
Not really. Not really. I kind of like to say it's a very gay Ozfest.
Okay.
That's
perfect. No, that's perfect.
Multiple stages.
Yes.
There's multiple things going on, and just like Ozfest or just like the Royal Rumble, you never know who's going to come out of down the tunnel.
Right.
So it's and like where I've seen and I'm like I said, I'm not the creative idea on this. Uh-huh. I'm like the guy who is bringing his art to the table and wants to be more involved, and I want to bring this to Connecticut. And I'm bringing it to Connecticut, and we're doing our first show with this, so it better be good.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Now, you get involved because of the people, the message, the environment, all of it. Why you jump in because of the whole shebang that's going on right now? You're seeing, this is my kind of shit, man. I mean, the whole punk rock scene, the wrestling, the message, as you know. Now, you want to take... Now, what is this called again?
Cabba Wrestle.
Cabba Wrestle. You want to bring Cabba Wrestle that's already had a couple runs in Rhode Island. You want to bring it to Connecticut. Now, are you going to be taking the same exact format and utilizing that? Do you have any twists and turns you'd like to add to it? Are they open to any twists and turns from one Scotty Anarchy?
Yes, all of that. We're bringing it to Connecticut is important to me because I feel like, wrestling fans like music. Wrestling fans may not be into burlesque and drag, but then again, there are people that are into burlesque and drag that may not be into wrestling. Mm-hmm. In general, I think everybody likes music. It just depends on what kind of music you like.
Right.
I from what I saw and the creativity that Tim brings to his shows is amazing. It's watching some of the biggest, burliest, badass wrestlers on the planet getting in the ring with somebody who then challenges them to a sing-off or dance-off is like no.
Next time, bro.
Yeah. He loves a dance-off.
Nobody.
More so the singing.
Nobody expects that, and and I'm thinking there are musicians that have some wrestling background that may get involved with something as well,
right?
So it is a little bit chaotic.
Okay.
But again, one of the things that I was really proud to hear was that this company has had 3 different situations where somebody publicly came out at one of these live events.
Oh wow! Because they felt that comfortable, that safe
yes.
in the environment.
Yeah, and it's just like it just when this is not a to like we sold a lot of merchandise there. You know, the people that went to that show were like, we get what you're saying.
Okay.
And to me, I think like it's really cool that you have all these like-minded people that are doing something, and in a certain perspective, that thing is a very good thing.
So your band was part of the Cabaret Wrestle?
Yes.
That's how you connected with all of this?
That's how we connected.
Okay.
And I was like, I would love for this to grow. I would love for this to be bigger.
Wow.
And I would love for Cabaret Wrestle to be doing their thing in Rhode Island. I would love for Cabaret Wrestle to be able to do their thing in Connecticut, and eventually build it to something bigger. You know, almost like it's like P.T. Barnum, but without all the weirdness.
Without all the weirdness.
Well, plenty weird.
It's okay.
Weirdness is encouraged.
Weirdness is encouraged. I was trying to downplay it.
Do you have a locale that you have maybe in mind in Connecticut?
Yes.
And I know this is probably a little far out from the event date and such.
Not really.
Oh, so you have a date in mind, a locale in mind?
Yes.
Do they have their own roster, or is the roster open?
So, I'm really glad you asked that question, because their roster, they have people that are there are people that are passionate about what they're doing with this company that have wrestled elsewhere. When I did the show with them in Rhode Island, there were definitely people that I'm like, oh my God, how are you doing, brother? Like, this is cool that you're here. It's like, oh yeah, just excited to be a part of it. And they have their own roster, but in Connecticut, I'm definitely going to be booking or getting involved in the booking with. I have Pax Headroom, who is doing a lot of the fronting up of the burlesque and drag. She's bringing people to the table that are local burlesque and drag performers.
Nice.
We're going to be bringing people that are local wrestlers.
Awesome.
And having them intertwine with some of the people that are already working with this organization. And
connections, networking and such. You know?
I mean, I would love to get to the point where, you know, like, so the location.
Yes.
I got to tell you, and the date. Our show is going to be April 26th.
It's right around the freaking corner.
Yeah, we got a lot of work to do. It's April 26th. It's at Dead Language Brewing in Hartford, Connecticut.
Okay.
First of all, brew culture. Yeah, that's another thing. I was looking for a place. It was hard to book, and credit to Tim for the work that he's done up in Rhode Island, because it's like, hey, I want to book a show. It's professional wrestling. And then the first thing, well, what about insurance? And what about this? And what about this? And once you get through that conversation, it's also music. What do we got for a stage? What do we got for a sound system? And it's also burlesque and drag. Hello? You know, so it's like finding somebody that sees that.
Yes.
And you know, like I to me too, to find somebody that sees that. So like I was looking for a brewery, tall ceilings, bigger type.
That seems to be a thing in wrestling the past couple years here.
Yeah.
It's like evolved into, let's do some outdoor brewery shows, and the people have been coming in, man. I mean, they not just, you know, their home crowd that they have that will hang out and check some of it out, but the fans are just coming to these, and they're gaining new fans as they're moving around to these breweries. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. And finding the right brewery that is on board with all of this. So I was looking for LGBTQ plus friendly breweries, and the brewery that was at the top of the list was Dead Language out of Hartford. I had not much idea about this, but ironically enough, there was somebody I know who works in drag burlesque, and somebody I know who's done music. They were like, they know the guy, and he's like, oh, he's a really cool guy. Like, wait till you talk to him. So then I found out that he was actually the head brewer of Alvarian Breweries.
Okay.
And he left there and started his own thing, and it's all European style beers, like Germans, Belgians, and stuff like that, and not just the typical IPA sour that everyone's doing.
Right.
So I already love the beer. And I talked to the wife who runs the business area of things, and I explained to her the concept, and she was like, I want you to ask my husband personally, because I want to see the look on his face when you tell him this. And I told him this, and his eyes lit up.
Really?
He was like, oh my God, this is so great.
That's
so
awesome.
so the fact that these guys were so behind it, like I want to do good for them. You know, I want to do good for everybody. You know,
All right.
you know, I hoping that this is going to be something that, you know, we'll play there, and eventually we'll have this at the Meadows or something like that.
That is absolutely amazing. I'm gonna check my phone one more time because if we're not recording, I'm gonna cry like a bitch.
Uh-oh.
I don't want you to cry.
I don't want you to cry. You're done.
Cabaret Wrestle seems to be getting into your life right now.
Yes.
You seem very excited about this venture that you're about to take on.
Yes.
I know that. How do I put this? I know partnerships in wrestling don't always work out.
I'm not laughing for any reason.
Do you see this to where it could be a true workable partnership here? Because I've seen them come and go, my friend. I haven't been around wrestling that long, under 10 years. I'm pretty close to the 10-year mark, but I've seen them come and go. I don't want to see your heart get pulled out because of ridiculousness on the side. So do you think you can... we can never see the future.
Yep.
But what you're seeing at Cabaret Wrestle and what you want to bring to the table and help out and bring it to a different light and maybe expand and make this a something, do you see this partnership could last a little bit here?
I think I look at a lot of personal relationships in the same way that you're looking at this. It's like, at this point in time in life, you get to know people, you get to know where their head is at, and I think unlike previous experiences, I didn't know everything going in. I was just excited to be a part of it.
Okay.
In this circumstance, there are people that I know that trust the people that I'm working with. There are people that are actually. There's a couple things I'm like, oh yeah, well, this person's involved with this, and I know this person because of this. But I have to trust people based on what the message they're trying to say, how they treat other people, and the respect they show to other people. And I think, like, I look at the people in my band, wrestlers that I work with, and a lot of the burlesque people that I've talked to as well, and Tim from Cabaret Wrestle, and they all kind of have that same mindset. And the way I look at it is, if I can produce for them, then they'll trust me more. And if they trust me more, the better our working relationship gets. It's business.
A new venture for Scotty Anarchy on top of making a whole new original band.
Yes.
Are you fucking crazy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I retired a therapist already. He's like, Scott, I retired. Does that mean I'm cured?
Before we let you go, I would really love you to repeat the deets of the show coming up, what it's named, the locale, all of that good stuff. Do you have any ticket prices that you can maybe...
Yes. Actually, the event page is coming out this week.
Okay.
The ticket price is going to be $20.
Okay.
It's going to be a 3.5-hour show, and Tax Collectors and Harlots, again, is going to be doing some filming for a music video around the show. And that's another thing. And again, it was very, like, this being put in at my, you know, like, times have been weird. You know, we all know this. And there were definitely things that I wanted to say, and like anybody else that's ever written lyrics or anything else.
Yeah.
And this was like right in my lap of everything that I wanted to say. Everything that I want to do as far as entertainment goes. As far as Tax Collectors goes, we are going to be on other shows and we're going to book. But I am strongly involved in making sure that Cabaret Wrestle is going to come to Connecticut 2, 3, maybe 4 times a year.
Wow.
That's my long-term goal.
Okay.
So I got to hit the ground running first, and the first show's got to be great. You know, it's got to be great. We got to give people what they want. We got to, do our best for the businesses that are going to be investing their time and location. The people that are investing their time and coming in to put on this show, and it's kind of the message that I'm carrying moving forward. You know, like it kind of is like a, so yeah, I'll do the best for everybody involved, and hopefully they'll return the favor. And trusting people is everything in this business. Remember the power bomb analogy?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Please don't powerbomb me.
No.
Absolutely not.
So the details will be coming out soon. There'll be event, there'll be flyers, there'll be all of that good stuff. looking for sponsor, because sponsorship is a big thing when it comes to wrestling. You can't do it out of your pocket, my man.
Oh.
Sponsorships will be a big thing. So please, boys and girls, keep your eyes peeled. I'll be sharing it up. Scotty will be sharing it. I'm sure Fraust will be and a multitude of people. So we have something new and different to look forward to in CT in April.
April 26th at Dead Language Brewing in Hartford, Connecticut.
Wow. It's right around the corner. You better get some shit done.
We've been working on it. This has been we booked that date back in November and didn't want to drop something before Christmas.
Okay.
Hey everybody, we got the show, and then 2 months later, oh yeah, I forgot they were doing that show in about a week and a half. So I want to make sure the time is right,
and keep it a little fresh in people's minds, because attention spans suck.
What'd you say?
Scotty Anarchy. An absolute surprise and a pleasure, my friend.
As much of a surprise and a pleasure as it is to me. I'm on Stirring the Pot right now. Wow.
This is absolutely... the last time Scotty Anarchy was on, it was outside at a park in Watertown, and it was with one Just Incredible, and we did a double deal. And I think we were talking... I asked you the tester question, and you said something about your brother's sock, or you use your brother's sock to do things.
Whoa.
So yes, good times. Good
That
times.
was a lifetime ago.
Yes, it feels like it was. It really does. You've been an absolute pleasure. A second guest on STP. Who the hell knew that this was fucking coming? Insane.
Is that okay or no?
I was gonna say it's delicious.
It's a
I was not
Still got it. Bang.
I was not expecting anything.
What is it?
Old fashioned.
Old fashioned.
I was like, oh, old fashioned. It's been a while.
What do you think of the new Frosty shirt?
I love it.
It's dripping with Frosty all over it.
It just came back to test the strength. We talked about it already, though, so we can't talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
You and I can talk about it later.
We can talk about it later.
Well, I look forward to everything.
Get out of here.
Cabra Wrestle,
My turn.
That'll be some fun.
Thank you.
I'm so happy that happened.
I hope that hug happened.
This is insane.
We can hug.
I'm kidding.
We just...
Every belly-to-belly and German suplex starts with a hug.
It's all out of love.
All right. So
Man,
anyway.
what a surprise that was. Now, you've already talked about who's coming to Lone Survivor 6.
Mm-hmm.
There's Christina Marie. Mm-hmm. There's the debut of RBG. BRG. That's what I said. I mix it up every single... I gotta stop knocking. I mix it up every single time. I hope he doesn't come and hit me with that damn...
Not while I'm here. Absolutely not.
BRG, you just went against one BRG for
Friday.
the All Valley Championship at Pioneer Valley Pro Old School Night / Fuji Cup.
Yeah.
My man, that was a hootenanny of a time. That was some fun. Now, all full disclosure and transparency, I really thought when your match was coming up, they were prepping for intermission, so I already scooted. So when you see my match on the old tube, it's edited, but there's just a slight little glitch from when you're on the ground and getting up. I tried to make it seamless because it's some of Karen's footage and some of my footage, because I came up, I go, what the bleep? She goes, I text you. I go, I always turn my data off when I go to the shows.
Yeah.
So I had no clue that your match started. But I did come up when you were up on a chair and you started doing your thing.
Right.
So talk to us about going against a guy like BRG right now, because he's full steam. I mean, he just got signed to MLW.
I was like, dude, do you have any of those Rogue Horseman shirts? He's like, they don't give me any to sell, brother. I'm like, all right. So this was my second match against him.
Okay.
It's funny because he's so annoying. And he's such a dick. But working with him is so good.
He is good. He's so good.
He's very talented. But he cheats, and
you had to deal with Marshall McNeil on top of that.
Who also, I had never gone against Marshall McNeil, so every time I see this guy, it's like, brother, and hug. Hey, you want to get a beer? Da da da. He's always so cool. Going against him sucks. He got me kicked in the face, full force.
Oh my god.
I went for a superplex. He held BRG's ankle.
He did.
So there goes my ass. Boop.
Yep.
Flop.
Yep.
Going against him in the future, like I thought I would be prepared for it because I'm like, well, he's not gonna go full blast.
Right.
He's not gonna try that hard against me. I mean, I know he has his person who he's representing, but like we're friendly, so like he's not gonna be a complete dick. No,
Right.
he was an absolute asshole. But working with BRG is great because the crowd naturally hates him.
Oh yes.
And
that just lifts you up more.
which I was worried because, and we may or may not talk about this in this podcast today, but coming out of 2024, it was rough. It was a little dark. It was not going great, and I went all the way from the 14th of December where I lost a championship that I was the first ever, in what was generally a horrible experience, getting in a complete war where Bull Dread and I beat the goddamn piss out of each other. To the January 31st, I didn't have a match. I didn't have anything. Like I trained,
Right.
Which is I got back into the dojo full time, which I hadn't been. So, fortunately, I'm going to be getting in better shape and everything. But it was my first match back. There were no jitters, but I definitely had a little bit of a concern. I knew that Foggy wasn't there. I knew that Eric Hunting wasn't there. I knew that you were probably there, but I also know that like you have Karen and Josh when you're there, and you're not
I'm not engulfed in it.
Don Kincaid, who's like practically in the ring filming it anymore. Like you have to enjoy the show too, and I believe you should. Like I'm not complaining about that at all. I'm just saying like I didn't think I was going to have much support because I guess I have been at PvP for about a year, but I didn't think that I had them yet. And I was mistaken.
Well, I think
that was great.
I think the rivalry with Stetson really did something for Frost brand over at PvP, honestly.
And you know what? Like, it was heated. It was intense. It was arguably the most intense feud I have experienced in wrestling. But all I can do is thank Stetson because at the end of the day, and I said this and I did make this up, and when somebody else uses it, it's mine. When determination met desperation in that strap match, like we had already taken everything we could give each other. And he went for that lariat to the back of the head, which has beaten me in the past. And I collapsed. But I heard him say, for the ranch, and I was like, I better get on the ground right now. Like, the most I could do was get on the ground. I couldn't, like, duck. I couldn't, like, back roll. I couldn't do anything. I was like, I heard him say, for the ranch, and I'm like, oh, shit. And I just fell. Happened to get the strap around his ankle. Hop up. And that's amateur wrestling. Any professional wrestler should have amateur wrestled, and if you didn't, take a class, join a club, do whatever you can, because it's so integral to the art of professional wrestling. And I'm not saying that somebody who can't be a good pro wrestler. Right. But man, you could be so much better if you did. And scrambled up them, got the crossface on with the strap, and that was it. All I can do is thank Steve Stetson for being such an asshole and creating such an intense rivalry for the whole year. I think that's what got me into that championship match to begin with against BRG.
It's very possible because, it's hard. When I ask the talent on STP, what do you like what do you like better, being a babyface or being a heel? They'll always pick heel because it's easier. We can piss you off way easier than we can take you on a ride and have you come with us and lift me up and lift you up together and have that thing. So it's much easier, and most times, it's a lot more fun being a heel.
It is more fun being a villain because you can do whatever the fuck you want, right? But there is nothing more rewarding
the adulation
than Dakota and Dale coming out and asking if I can sign something.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then going to Andrew's benefit show, taking part in that battle royal. Like there's nothing that compares to somebody who like so genuinely and lovingly wants something from you and you can give it to them. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man.
And that's why kind of like I share that older stuff when like, you know, maybe getting Scotty Anarchy with the old little stinger in the back of the neck. Hey. I have to share that stuff because then it keeps... We're talking TOS.
Listen, when I started, I thought you had to do that shit. You got to get over. You have to do things to make sure that the fans remember you, to make sure that they want to see you again. So yeah, I'm gonna cane Scott's wife in the back with a kendo stick. I'm gonna take Kev Manser, distract him with a pretty girl,
and scoop
him, pin him for my championship.
I couldn't believe you did
to get my belt back.
I could not believe
I'm gonna
you
do all these
Kev
things.
Manser.
I'm gonna do these things, man. But you know, at the end of the day, like even then, fans were like, "Oh well, you know, we really like you. We just can't cheer for you." And I'm like, "I don't care. No, it is so different.
Yeah, it is.
And there may be a day. Somebody may push me to the point where I do something that the fans say, I can no longer support you. It's possible.
It's very,
but I don't actively want to do that.
No, and you've even told me, like, I'm not a heel or a face. I'm just Ryan Frost doing the same stuff I did, basically, but in a different way. And you guys have come on board.
You point me at a good guy or a bad guy.
Right.
And you know, who do you want to cheer more? Who do you want to boo more? And that's really it. Like, I have not changed. I bring the kendo stick to the ring because I pin Just Incredible and I pin the Sandman. So I bring that shit to the ring. If you use it on me, I'm going to use it back on you. But if you don't, and we're going to try to have some sporting competition, then I will try to have sporting competition. But if you hit me with a chair, I'm going to break that chair over your head every time.
So I'm going to do some more full transparency, especially with Scotty Anarchy being here. And this,
no, I kicked him out. He's gone.
This might be a detriment to myself. Frosty may strangle me right here, right now.
I think it's unlikely, but what do you...
I like fun ideas in wrestling. So I was poking around in my closet, what am I going to wear at training day? And as I was poking around looking in my closet...
Don't you take that hoodie off.
No, I don't have...
Oh, okay.
There is nothing but... No. I almost did, but I did not know Mr. Anarchy was going to be here.
Oh, I know where you're going.
I did offer something up for training day 53. And... he doesn't really, I don't know if he likes me or doesn't like me, I'm not sure, but I did interview one Johnny Medina at one point not that long ago in the past.
Any wrestler who doesn't like you doesn't get it.
So when I saw...
we need this.
When I saw this specific shirt, ding, 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 ding. Hi, Mr. Johnny Medina. How are you? Don Kincaid. Nice to meet you. I have a one of one. Now, I don't know if it would fit you because I'm a skinny little fuck and you're not. I go, but...
he's not that big.
I have a one of one that might be perfect for one Johnny Medina.
I know where this is going.
And I took a picture.
Oh, actually, it's one of two because he had one too. This bum.
So I took a picture and I said if I could get it back unharmed, that would be spectacular. But this is what I have to offer. And I took a picture of the Ryan Frost is Stupid shirt. It's a black tee with white letters, and it was gifted to me from one beautiful human, Scotty Anarchy. When him
It all comes around.
and Mr. Frosty had that rivalry, it was fun because he thought hardcore was stupid, and that's what he had. Hardcore is stupid. So Mr. Anarchy kind of piggybacked on that and said, Frost is stupid. Beautiful! I'll never, ever get rid of that. And I offered it.
And he was too dumb to take it.
It's too small. I'm skinny. It's too small. He said, excellent idea.
He is 4'7".
He said, excellent idea, but I'm an XL. But I appreciate you. So,
Johnny, you're an XL.
full transparency. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, because imagine Johnny Medina being in the dojo with that shirt on. Whoo! Oh, the heat from Frosty would have been something. Oh my God, that would have been fire!
I actually would have popped.
That would have been.
I wouldn't have even been mad. That would have been
so-
hilarious.
That would have been fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So that would have been a lot of fun. That would have been a hootenanny. Now, we've talked about Training Day 53. Mm-hmm. We've talked about Lone Survivor 6. Mm-hmm. And we've talked a little bit of BRG. I always reverse the letters. I don't know why. I'm just dyslexic with his name.
Have wrestle, everybody.
What I'd like to talk about is, and I know we've already touched upon TJ.
Yeah.
I really thought Cold Cash was going to be okay, man.
Well, I did too, and like, I kind of, with all due respect, I kind of don't want to spend too much time.
No,
on it
not at all, not at all.
Because, you know, what happened was stepladder warfare, or no, the stepladder match turned on me, caned the shit out of me from behind. We had an extended rivalry, settled it. He repented. I believed him. We were good. And now he does this shit. So, as much as I'd like to say, no, you know, maybe we should talk. Maybe we should figure it out. Maybe you should make it work. No. That's it. He showed me who he really is because he did it again. And it wasn't to me again, but he did the same damn thing again. Mm-hmm. So now I know that's really you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You have a friend who cheats on his girlfriend, right? And then they break up. And then he gets a new girlfriend, right? And you're like, oh, well, maybe he'll learn his lesson. Cheats on that girl. No, he's a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. He just is. That's it. Mm-hmm. How am I supposed to ever trust him again? Mm. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be the one who gets hit from behind with the Singapore cane again. That's not going to be me. So I know better. I know what's coming, and it's not going to happen again. And I'm not targeting him in this match at Lone Survivor at all. I hope he gets eliminated before I can get my hands on him, because I don't want to hurt him. No. Because really, there is a friendship there that is hard to ignore and hard to look past.
Right.
That's why I was so mad when he did it the first time, because you took a friendship that I thought like was like generational. Like, this is the kind of thing, like, we have this tag team that could really work. The Hart Foundation was Brett and Anvil. Harlem Heat was Booker and Stevie Ray. You know, you got the little guy and the big guy, and you can have a really good tag team. Mm-hmm. And he fucked it up. And then we fixed it, and I fucked it up again, and that's it. I'm sorry. I'm not going more than twice.
Do yourself a favor, boys and girls.
Forgive my language.
Look back at some of the Cold Cash stuff. You can go to TJ's page. He shared every single promo that they've ever done. I've got to say, some of the most fun promos I've ever seen, except Super Fro. Did you see Super Fro's latest promo?
That was awesome.
Come on.
That was awesome.
That was beautiful. He was even strutting while his girl was throwing his shit off the porch. I mean, come on, Super Fro. That was a bang.
You already heard me tell you how proud I am of all our guys.
You did. That promo was amazing.
There's no, and like, there are very good schools and very good promotions in Connecticut. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying anything negative about anybody. I'm just saying TOS is on a different level. Mm-hmm. We're doing more. We're doing better. A lot of cool shit's happening. It's just so invigorating to be a part of something like that. And honestly, I felt, because I hadn't been training, I felt like I had fallen out. I felt like maybe it wasn't really mine anymore.
If you're not there, we're not seeing you.
You know, out of sight, out of mind. Mm-hmm. And I started going back a little over a month ago. And at first, you know, maybe it's imposter syndrome, maybe it's like just like overthinking things, but like I was like, man, I kind of thought people would have a warmer welcome. I thought people would be a little more like, hey, Frosty's back. Like, nobody said shit. And I'm like, meh. But then I kept going back. Mm-hmm. And now I feel like I'm back in it.
Okay.
I feel like everybody is welcoming me now. And I think I can't blame them for that. because I wasn't there for a while. And I mean, I broke my thumb. That was very real. Like there are reasons that I didn't train as much as I should for a lot of 2024. And I had an enormous crisis of confidence. Like daily, I was like, I should stop doing this. Why am I doing this?
Can I say you've been on that run for a while mentally, up and down, on and off, hot and cold of, do I belong? Because we've discussed things outside of the ring. And it's not like we talk every day or every week or anything. But I know that there's been more than one point in your career to now. Do I belong? Is this for me? Did I start too late? A multitude of questions. When you come out through them fucking curtains, Frosty, we're there with you. You've done something. Again, the word organically on the last STP I did with you and the boys because of the Fraust Force. This is something that's not been forced from a booker to make us like you. This isn't forced from a storyline. This is organic, and we've been behind you. So please know that your place is in wrestling.
Well, thank you. And the funny thing, it's just the, I love Joey G, Sawicki, everybody, everyone on that whole list of people. They have meant so much to me, and honestly, my mental health, for years.
That brings up the confidence so much.
They haven't been around.
It's been
Billy dealing with the ear thing.
Yes.
They haven't been around. So like I've been like, well, I don't have my guys, and I'm still kind of getting good reactions, and I'm still kind of like feeling like I'll be in that locker room, man, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, it's like I look around the locker room, and I'm like, I can go one sweep and be like, these are my friends, and I really enjoy being with these people. I'm not just talking about TOS, like PvP, like that company existed for a long time, and actually that company was directly diametrically opposed to the company that I was in for a little while. And I go there, and like my first sweep is like, I love all these people, and I'm really happy to be here, and I know that they all like and appreciate me. And then my second sweep, my head's messed up. I don't know, man. I'm like, man, this guy didn't say hi to me. This guy doesn't give a shit about me. Like, do I even fucking belong here? Like, it's my own though. It's in me. It's not that.
Right.
I do that at Test of Strength. I do that everywhere, man. I had one experience, and I will not say the name of the promotion because I like and respect the promotion and virtually everyone there. So I'm not going to say any names of anyone or anything. I went to one place last year, and this fucked me, dude. I go, and they're like, you're not going to come out to your own music. And I'm like, what? My music's awesome, and like, people pop. Like, even people who've never seen me before pop for my music. You're not going to let me use my music? And they're like, yeah, we're just, come out, give me 4 minutes. Put our guy over. I do not ever mind
putting over
what people want from me. I never mind helping make someone look good because you need them to. Like, I don't have a single complaint about that kind of shit at all, ever. I'll do everything. I don't care. But to tell me that I can't be myself, and I can't represent myself, and I can't use the resources, I have no money, bro. The resources that I actually have been able to procure, I can't use that.
Right. It's my brand.
And here's what I did. I took $20 out of my own pocket before I got paid and bought one of their shirts and wore it down to the ring. I'm this company's guy. Come on, everybody. Got the crowd going, started a chant for the company's name.
Really? Okay.
Shoulder tackled this guy twice, missed a line, his finisher, pin me, I'm gone, right? Still wasn't mad. I still wasn't mad. I was still like, okay, well, this is what I had to do today. I'm fine with it. Not mad at all. I'm cool. And it wasn't the guy I was supposed to fight. I was really excited about the guy I was supposed to fight, and he didn't show up.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, cool. I'm actually okay with this. It's fine. On my way out, I hear this individual say, "That's one of the toughest students at test of strength," and I just beat him.
Oh, jeez.
So I get to the back, and I'm like, I don't appreciate that at all. You can say whatever you want about me, man, and I'll bet you half of it's true. You want to say I don't work out hard enough? Like, man, I try, but like I don't. Maybe, you know, I hadn't been at the dojo for a couple months. Like, you want to say like I don't train enough? That's fine. You want to say like I don't do enough flips? I don't do, you know. And I'm not saying flips. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that because flips have their place, and I respect people who flip. And I can do a few flips. Believe me. Say whatever you want about me. Do not dare say a word about my dojo, because the best wrestler in the world came out of my dojo. The other top 5 dead or alive came out of my dojo. Like, we have something very special at Test of Strength, and I will not allow anyone to besmirch that name. So, you know, I talked to him, and I talked to the promoter, and I was like, I really don't like the fact that was said. Brother Greatness pops in, and he's like, yeah, you shouldn't have said that. TOS is awesome. You know? There was another guy, too. Fuck, I wish I remembered who. But Brother Greatness firmly, like, came in and was, like, while this conversation was happening, was like, yeah, you shouldn't have said that.
Wow.
TOS is great. Yeah, I don't want to give enough information for anyone to figure this out, because that doesn't matter. It's not that important. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I had already been, like, kind of doubting myself, kind of feeling like I wasn't doing enough, kind of feeling like I was kind of shit in the bed in wrestling. And then this happens, and I'm like, fuck,
and they
man.
throw that to you. You
know, I've been doing this 6 years, and this is how people think of me. This is what they want from me at this point. It was a really kind of a rough moment. And then, you know, December 14th for Pure Vanguard happens, and it was far from the best match I've ever had. It was a fight, and it was violent, and I bled out of my head, and we beat each other up, but it was not good. Like the crowd, actually, people were inboxing me, asked me if I was okay because I got beat up, and I said yes, and then they were like, well, that was a hell of a fight. And I'm like, well, cool, thanks. I'm glad you think so. But to me, I am not only an athlete, but I'm also an entertainer. And I did go into that hoping that it was going to be a little more entertaining. Like, it was just violent.
It was.
And I don't do that.
It was a hootenanny.
I don't do the deathmatch shit. And that wasn't even approaching that. I don't want to compare that. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But I don't do just, like,
hardcore type stuff.
I don't do soft core. I don't do heavy core. But no, and nothing against Shred. You know, we had come to a point where, like, I was mad at him, he was mad at me, and we just fought real hard.
Right.
We didn't do everything that the promoter had hoped we would do either at the time, and I was like, fuck. And I was real down, and I was real blue about wrestling for a while. And I was like, maybe I'll just fucking stop. I don't know. Maybe I'll just finish the ones that I already have and just be like, okay, well, bye, guys. You know?
Okay, so we talk about this all the time on STP with the talent. You get to a point to where, is this for me? Do I belong? I can't do this. I'm just going to go back to fucking Walgreens full time, or whatever that case may be.
Yeah.
How does the talent, athlete, performer, entertainer, pick themselves up and say, you know what? I do belong. I do want to do this. This is part of my life. I'm just being a pissant right now. How do you pick yourself up from a rut where it's time to quit to, no, I can keep doing this?
I'll tell you right now. And I actually spoke to my therapist about this morning. It's, you know, I would tell someone else all day, every day. The reason you're depressed and the reason you feel like you don't belong is because you're not training and you're not going to the gym. I was going to the gym like once a week. You know, I was like, you know, but it wasn't intentional. And I was not going to the dojo. You know, I was not in there doing drills, being around our people.
The environment, right?
You know, I and it wasn't conscious. It wasn't like, excuse me, Just Incredible tells me all the time, you don't have to train anymore, you're good, right? He doesn't mean I don't need to train. He means, like, I get it, and I appreciate it,
right.
And he's extremely supportive. But I do have to. Like, everyone has to. If you want to be a professional wrestler, you need to continue training, because you're never perfect.
Right.
Just like you're a singer, just like you're a guitarist, just like you're a fucking, I don't know, I'm sure mathematicians need to practice, right? You have to practice what you want to be excellent at. Good, you can be good. I can be good at a lot of things. But to be excellent at something, to like excel in something, you have to practice all the time, right? And it wasn't anything about the dojo. It was about like time, and it was about paying bills, and it was about I mean, a little bit about depression, seasonal depression. You know, it's wintertime. It's hard to get out of there when it gets dark so early, you know. And it gets dark, and you're like,
fuck, what am I going to do?
I'm saying I'm too depressed to go, when at the same time, if I went, I wouldn't be so depressed, right? So that is the switch that flipped last month. I said, all right, well, I have to get to the dojo. So I said, okay, I'm going to promise myself I'm going to go once a week. I started going once a week for sure, and if I can make it twice, cool. And the difference, like the change, not only in the wrestling stuff, like at work, like at home.
Really?
With Ashley. Like,
wow.
It's unreal. Like, how much better I feel when I'm active and when I'm doing things, when I'm around it, and when like it's part of my life, as opposed to like, oh damn, I got to wrestle this Saturday. All right, well, you know, like and I don't want to admit that, because I don't want anybody that I've worked with to think that I didn't care or phoned it in, because I've never phoned it in on a performance. Right. Like if I'm in front of a crowd, like I'm going, but I could go better if I was in better shape, and if I was training, and if I was at the gym, and if I felt better. You know what I mean?
Right.
So right now, as we speak, I feel like this is going to be a fantastic year. January, I basically saw as a reset, and I fixed my diet. Very truly fixed my diet. Been at the dojo once a week rather. Been at the gym 3 or 4 times a week, and I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. So I am happy about all that, and I think it's gonna yield results.
Well, a turnaround is what we always want, because once you get into your rut, your dark hole, whatever you fall into, it's not always easy to come out of, and it's not always easy to find a support system around you. It could only be one person. It could be a phone call to a friend. It could be anybody. But if you have a couple people, and especially when you get into the environment of the dojo, where there's a multitude of people trying to do the same thing, the same dream and all of that stuff, it's a little bit different.
Certainly helps. And like, you know, when I said this earlier, like I mean this, helping the young guys is what brings me more joy than anything. Like I would rather take a car full of, you know, I want to take Petey, Fro, if they can sit in the same car. You know, Poppy, Manny Matrix.
Manny Matrix.
I want to grab these guys, and I want to go to Ohio and Indiana, and I want to, like, you know what I mean, go to Rhode Island and Maine, and like make sure that I'm sharing the experience that I've had. Not, you know, it has nothing to do with me. It's like, listen, I don't know if you would be going here if I didn't take you, so let's go.
Right.
You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with me. I took Mark and Mark Alexander and Red Sawyer. That's an interesting car. We went out to Ohio and Indiana one time. Oh, and that was wild. That was insane.
Wow.
Not wild like Coke and beer and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like wild, like these are insane personalities. They're both very, 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 very different.
Different, yes.
And there was the three of us, and it was strange.
Insane.
It was strange.
But doing this, you yourself being brought on the road by, and I'm going to use this as an example, and I'm sure there's others out there, but I personally know of this one, would be one Bob Evans. He took you on the road, he did you a couple things here and there, and he really gave you some knowledge, some encouragement, and knowledge to pass on, because the very first time I ever interviewed you when we were outside, it was, I just want to leave I just want to leave the business better. And it doesn't matter what I've accomplished. I mean, yes, I want to be a successful wrestler, but I want to leave the business just a little bit better. And that's what I feel with those statements that you're talking about. Bringing the Reds and the Marks and wanting to take out the Super Pros and the Giannis.
Yeah.
Brutal Bob Evans did that for you.
These guys are doing enough traveling on their own.
They are, and we've talked about that.
They're doing
and I've
fine.
interviewed all of them.
Yeah.
Spreading the wings and getting out of the nest is one of the hardest things to do, because you don't know your opponents. You don't know the promoter. You don't know how the ring is put. You know that the TOS is this.
Yeah.
But when you leave, you don't know those question marks.
It's good to be with somebody who's been there before.
Yes.
Bobby Ocean,
absolutely.
actually, for Bobby Puddles. As much of a jerk as he's been in recent months, like as a assistant coach for a dojo, he's very good about bringing people places and making sure that you get exposure and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We've been talking your wrestling career. I wanted to touch upon something, because when the wrestlers start training at a dojo of any kind, anywhere, it doesn't matter. It could be in the UK, it could be in the United States, it could be anywhere. You have a dream of becoming a professional wrestler. You have a vision of what you're going to look like in your gear. You have a vision of what your name is going to be. You have a vision of what your promos are going to sound like. And you have a vision of many, many things. But also, Mr. Frost, we've already discussed in previous interviews, has dabbled in music as a frontman.
Yeah. All right.
Now you're taking a chance on doing an audition for pretty much an established national band that's been around for
international.
I should have said international before.
They've done Vakken.
Yeah,
you know Vakken.
yeah. I should have said international before I said national. Actually, being called Nevermore.
Yeah.
And they're looking for a front man, and you happen to send in an audition. Now I know this is a passion of yours, is music. Talk to us about the fans about, while you're trying to pursue a wrestling career and you're kind of doing this roller coaster with it, how do you find time in your mental game to even come together and put something out as an audition for a band like Nevermore?
That's very funny, because I chose to stop doing bands and stop singing when I said, well, I'm going to pursue wrestling, because Scott has managed to do both, but I cannot do both. I can't, and I'm not, maybe I could. Ron Zombie played guitar for Nasty Disaster, had his wrestling career. There's plenty of wrestlers who've done music, it's possible, but maybe it's just, I don't know what it is specifically, but I can't envision giving 100% to both. And wrestling is the kind of thing that you have to give 100% to.
Absolutely.
Being really good in a band, having a really good band like Scott does, you need 100%. You need 100%. I never gave singing that.
Okay.
So even if I had some natural ability, even if I had some really good training, I was too busy drinking beers and chasing tail, Okay. So singing, even if I could have been really good, I didn't give it enough.
Right.
So when Nevermore said they were going to do open auditions for a new singer, and that's the same Nevermore that was on Raven shirts, and we had a Raven seminar at TOS, and everybody asked all the wrestling questions, and he was like, "All right, anybody else want to say anything?" And I was like, "Yeah. Do you really like the band Nevermore?" He's like, "Nah, I like pop. I like Britney Spears." Yeah.
Oh God.
It was hilarious. I could have heat with Raven. It's fine. Yeah. So like this band like literally meant the world to me. Like I never even envisioned being a wrestler, and I was singing for bands and like obsessed with this band because his vocal tone, his delivery, everything he does was so close to what I do.
Okay.
Whereas like, and he's very unique. Warrell Dane was the singer. You know, everybody wants to sound like Halford, including Warrell Dane. Everybody wants to sound like Halford or Bruce Dickinson, but I wanted to sound like Warrell Dane.
Okay.
And I already did because like I was doing like Jekyll and Hyde for the Broadway show, and somebody was like, "You sound like this metal singer," and I was like, "Oh, let me hear him." And I listened to Beyond Within, and it changed my life because you can do clean singing with like some grit and some attitude.
Yeah.
You know, instead of like just like full on growling,
right,
or full on clean singing, you can like have dirty, like aggressive, clean singing, which happened to naturally fall to me. And then, yeah, fast forward a million years, and Worrell passed away, I want to say 5 years ago, maybe longer. Real super sad, like just, you know, substances and stuff. So a lot of people think that it's in bad taste that they're doing this.
Oh.
Because they're not even including the bassist, who was on the Worrell side of the band splitting up.
Oh. Okay.
You should audition.
Stop.
But you know, it's like I sound like him, and I love like that stuff. I could sing in my sleep. I could sing that shit, even if I haven't sung in 2 years. I could sing that shit.
Okay.
It's, you know, the super high falsetto stuff I can't do anymore because if you don't practice, you lose it. It's a muscle like anything else.
Right.
So, you know, I don't know if I would trust myself to sing Painkiller right now, but I could do any Nevermore song. And, you know, they provided instrumental tracks, their instrumental tracks.
Oh, cool.
And my dear friend Mark Lyon, who I love, has been in a million bands, and he teaches music. Like, music is his way of paying his bills, and I'm so happy for him for that. He gave me an afternoon of his time and recorded my vocals.
Oh, nice.
Over their instrumentals. And
oh, wow.
We'll see.
That's cool.
He also, when I first got my song, he offered to let me record vocals. So the Frost Giant theme, like I could do vocals for that whenever I want.
No kidding.
Yeah. So.
Wow, that's fun stuff.
Someday, maybe.
So, the audition process, where are you at right now? It's been sent out.
Well, no, it's so it was open. You had to create a private YouTube link.
Oh, okay.
And send it to their email.
Oh, all right, that's easy peasy.
And by January 31st was the cutoff.
Okay.
And what is it, the 3rd?
It is
it's the 3rd. So
so back to
my whole goal was not goal, just I would be satisfied if I just got an email that said like, hey, we got your submission, thank you. I would take anything from them. Right. I don't expect anything.
Right.
But it'd be cool to hear from them.
Well, usually that's the process with that. You only hear from us if you're kind of in, basically.
Right. So
I had a bass player, he tried out for Disturbed.
Oh.
And he learned their entire catalog. He went out to Chicago on his own dime.
Yeah. Ugh.
30 seconds they had him play. One track, 30 seconds. Okay, next, please. And you didn't hear from him, but it's these chances you take.
It'd just be so cool to get like a thank you but no thanks.
It would be.
Wouldn't it?
But I bring that up because we talk the trials and tribulations of becoming a successful wrestler and how hard it is to persevere mentally, physically, both together as a package. Without one, you can't do it without one. You need both.
No, yeah.
So for you to be going through some trials and tribulations and to audition for a band at the same time that could really change your life at any moment, I just found that so fucking daring. I don't got the balls to do that kind of shit, Frosty. I do the kind of shit was like,
I had a few people reach out to tell me that these auditions were happening, because every like the people I know, like the people I'm close with, are like, bro, Nevermore's auditioning vocalist. And I'm like, that's not gonna be me, dude. It's never gonna be me. Like, what do you fucking mean? Like, it's not a movie. This is real life, and it's not gonna be me. And I just hit up Mark, and I was like, hey man, do you think, like, because I'm not gonna do it on my phone. You know what I mean? No. I'm gonna have a condenser. I'm gonna have you want it
to be polished a bit.
And so because everyone else is too. And if they're any good,
yes,
you know what I mean.
You're gonna have it that way.
So, I said, "Do you think you could do this for me?" He's like, "Bear, you have to do this." He's like, "I've heard some of these, because it was supposed to be a private YouTube link, and people don't follow instructions."
Oh no!
So a lot of it was out there.
Oh,
and he's like, "I've listened to some of these, and you should do it." and I did it. And the first, I wish we had just been able to go with the first bit, because like he was like, "Oh, you sound like you should be the singer of Nevermore." I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, thank you." And as it goes on, especially if you haven't been practicing, shit wears down. It gets harder.
You
so
get
like
taxed.
The second song wasn't nearly as good as the first song.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, I picked the more difficult song first. So at the very least, and I said this the whole time, at the very least, I have me singing a couple of Nevermore songs over the original Nevermore audio.
That's pretty fire.
So if nothing else comes of it, that's pretty cool.
That's really fire, man.
That's so sweet of you to ask.
Absolutely. That had to be part of this, because to take on one venture like wrestling is hard enough alone. But then when you try to take on something else, and now we're talking music, and you're going to be a front man, which totally changes everything.
Listen, if Nevermore fucking emails me, like, I'm gonna go lose a match to Pretty Poppy, and I'm gonna go sing for Nevermore.
There'll be signs.
Yeah, there will be signs.
But I just find it fascinating that you would want to take on such. And you just never know, Frosty.
You never know.
I mean, you can tell yourself, I'm not going to be the guy. I'm not going to be the. You just never know.
And I'm not obsessing over it.
No.
I'm not thinking all day I'm never going to do it.
Yeah.
Or I am going to do it. I'm not thinking either of those things.
Right.
That day I went to Mark's house,
and I felt
as prepared as I could be.
Right.
Because I have not been practicing singing.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt as prepared as I could be. Excuse me. It came out. The original takes came out better than I thought. What we ended up with came out around what I thought it would be, and I did not. The first song I'm happy with. The second, because it was 2 songs. The first song I'm happy with. I would play that for anybody, and I'd be like, "This is me singing." The second one, I'm like, "Fuck, man, maybe I should have done this one first because it's easier, and I could have just plowed through it." But either way, like. You know what? The other day, I did, how long ago? Last week, 2 weeks ago. So this all happened like 2 months ago. Like a couple weeks ago, I was like, you know what? I'm going to listen to these with fresh ears. I'm going to see if they were really that bad. Because I always kill myself on everything. And even matches. I'll watch it and I'll be like, shut it off, I can't. And then like a month later, I'll be like, actually, that wasn't so bad. I listened to mine, and I was like, oh, God, I hate myself. This fucking sucks. And then I listened to the original, and I was like... And then I went back and listened to mine again, and I was like, it's actually not that bad. It's not that bad. Like, I could stop beating yourself up.
Right.
But.
An adventure, though. Good stuff.
All adventures.
And even doing that, and hearing your stuff, hearing your voice back over those tracks, that's just one more little confidence booster. And I know you may not, again, you do it with critical ears and critical eyes and stuff. But like you said, if you let it rest a little bit, let it breathe, you come back to it with some fresh ears, you get a different perspective.
Sure.
So I feel that's a little bit of a confidence booster. In or out.
It wasn't bad.
You know, you want to be in, but in or out, it's a little something.
It at least wasn't terrible. I'm like, okay, I'm not embarrassed.
So, over the past couple years, you've won some accolades in wrestling. Being a U.S. championship.
Okay.
Being the Break the Chains championship. Now I say, I know that the talent, they say that the belt doesn't make the talent makes the belt. When you're holding a belt and you have a representation of yourself for that company, how hard is it to not get lost into, hey, I'm champ, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, you get kind of lost in these things because marks marked out for themselves, wrestlers alike. We've seen it, Fraust.
Yeah.
How do you stay true to yourself and not get lost with that?
I'd like to think that I don't.
You don't, and I've never seen it.
I'd like to think that I'm just grateful to be representing a promotion that believes in me. So I have a championship, you know. The Break the Chains especially, what Doc's doing at Pillwillip Therapeutic Farm in Wolcott, and the fact that Break the Chains is his, like, kind of, not ode, you know, it's acknowledging the daily struggles people have with, like, addiction and mental health issues and everything. Like, you know, we've already talked today about depression and stuff. Knowing that I was the first champion to defend a championship based on that ideology, you know, and knowing that, like, every single person, I don't know if this is clear to everybody, every single person I wrestled to defend that belt or win that belt was a 20-plus year vet.
We had the likes of Randy Shawn.
Bull Dread. He's a bitch, but Dan the Man. Hammer Tunis. I don't know if I'm gonna get to wrestle Hammer Tunis at PvP before he wraps it up because on 426, same day as Cabot Wrestle, PvP is gonna have their farewell to Hammer Tunis. He's not. He's gonna have his last match.
Okay.
Probably against his brother. I would have to.
I would have to. But they still didn't do the bacon thing here.
Yeah, the guy was injured. So, you know, it's like, I don't know if I'll ever get to wrestle Hammer again. I'm really, really glad that I did. And heard through the grapevine, don't want to, you know, ruin anybody's mystique here, but I heard that he wanted that match also.
Okay.
And that he was excited to work with me, so that was nice.
That's awesome.
And we had a good fight at United by One, I think. And I would love to work with him one more time, but regardless, all 20-year vets.
Wow.
That I defended that belt against. I don't know what Dred's going to do now, but and I like the guy. He was my mentor when I started, but you know, I don't love the fact that he employed younger guys to come in and interfere in our match and steal the belt from me, but that's fine. I'm not gonna perform. I'm not gonna compete at the next Vanguard event, but I'm not, like, isolated from Vanguard. I don't hate Vanguard. I don't have a problem with Vanguard. I'm just gonna take an event off because I carried that belt for its entire existence, and I deserve a break. We'll see what happens afterwards. They're going to crown a new champion. Who knows? It's going to be a nice new championship. Heel shit design belt.
You've talked about your career starting late in life,
Yes.
Later than looking at a super fro, if you will, right? Is there a timeline for Ryan Fraust and wrestling? Have you ever set a timeline?
I continue to say I'm just going to do it as long as I can.
Okay.
Like, if some grave health issue makes itself present, then obviously I have to stop. But this is the only thing I wanted to do since I was little.
Okay.
You know, I sat on the living room floor on my stomach watching Randy Savage at WrestleMania 3 and 4 on VHS. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I never watched any of that shit live. My great-grandmother would take me to the video store, and I would rent old WrestleManias and Survivor Series, you know. And it was always Randy Savage. But, you know, when I went to college for theater, I would have gone to a wrestling school. I didn't know you could. I didn't know how to get into wrestling.
Right.
And everybody in my family wanted me to go to college. So it's like, all right, well, I'll go to WestCon for theater. Sounds good.
Okay.
You know? So, yeah, I will do this as, you know, and everybody says, oh, nobody ever really retires too. You know, everybody. If I know I can't do it, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to embarrass I have embarrassed myself. I'm sorry. But I'm not going to willingly embarrass myself. I'm going to stop when I have to stop. But that is nowhere in sight. I'm in really good shape right now.
Cool.
When I watched back me and BRG on Friday, yeah, I fell on that chair that broke under my foot. And yeah, towards the end, after he'd put a little bit of a beating on me, I was a little slower on the uptake because, you know,
You got beat.
I got beat up. I got kicked full force in the face. You know, like all kinds of shit. But I know that I could still perform at a level that you know, meets or exceeds anybody's expectations. Some promotions really like the super young athletic guys. That is totally cool. I'll support those promotions. I'll support those performers, competitors. I'm all about it, you know. I was so excited to wrestle Flash Waller and Red Sawyer in a triple threat match at the last House Rules, and I broke my thumb the week before. Listen, if anybody's going to catch Dustin Waller out of the air and hit him with an Alabama slam, it's this guy. I would have had a lot of fun with that.
Goodness.
I can hang with these guys, man. Like, I want to work sometimes, Sydney, Hakeem. Like, I want to work people against my style so that we can, like, I can do something they don't usually experience. They can do something I don't usually experience.
And it challenges yourself as an athlete and a performer within the confines. There was buzz not that long ago of PWA. And people would be like, I want in. I want in.
Of course.
I want in.
Of course.
I want in. There was a ton of it.
Yeah. I don't do the I want in.
So with the buzz of a possible PWA return here, have you heard anything? Has there been anything further?
Here's my I want in.
Okay.
I do want it. But I'm not going to shamelessly just be like, oh my God, please book me. Like, on a comment of a fucking Facebook post. No offense to anybody. Do whatever you want. But I feel like PWA is where I started. I was very close with everyone there when it was happening. And I would be very happy to contribute to an event that happened. Okay. I would love to. I don't know if I'm going to be Snidely Whopperfuts, because that was the gimmick that we were going with. But
Scotty, you can picture that shit,
but
right?
fuck it, I'll do it. Snidely Whopperfuts. I want to. I was kidding. Von Schmidt, bring me in.
Bucket.
But no, I would love to do anything with or for them. Like I have the fondest memories of starting there, and a lot of times you will hear me say, if it wasn't for Test of Strength, I don't know if I would have ever had a match. But it's not because of PWA. It's because by that time I was switching schools, and I was like, if I'm ever going to do this, I have to do it now. So I got more serious. Right. That's not PWA's fault. Right. I don't blame them for anything. It's, I realized that, like, I'm losing places to try this, and I'm losing the time that I need to do it. So I have to take it more seriously. I would love to contribute to a PWA event if it comes, and if I can't, I'll be there in the audience. I'll eating a hot dog. Let's go.
Now, at the time, when PWA was on, as Pro Wrestling Academy, and then they would add the CT at the end of it because there was something else going on in Georgia.
I'm sure there's 100 of them.
So during that time, your tenure in PWA, you weren't a wrestler, you were a referee.
I was training to wrestle.
Right.
So,
But what we saw, you were a referee, correct? And then when PWA closed, the kids that were starting there and others, they went to different places. Some went to TOS, some went to PAPW, some just at in, and some went other places.
I don't want to peel the curtain too far back, but I was told, go to Test of Strength with Slick Wagner Brown. I know Sammy and Hippie were, because we all did. Eli, Dajay, we all went to Test of Strength with Slick Wagner Brown.
Okay.
Because that's, I don't know about all of them, but that's what I was told. You know, this is where you should go to continue your journey.
Okay.
And I'm very thankful for that.
And I have seen some that have gone in other directions.
Yeah.
And I always say, or ask, I should say, when I interview and trying to figure out, how did you come across Test of Strength, or how did you come across the PAPW facility? And it's usually kind of by accident. I was just, or it was somebody said, hey, blah 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 blah.
I have to beg you. Pause.
Oh yeah.
Can I pee, please?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Kyle.
Great seeing you.
We had a little break there for a second, little pit stop action. Frosty, we were talking to PWA and how everything, the students dispersed from the PWA and went in a few different directions here. And you could see from a TOS when some of the talent that was incorporated in the PWA roster, and they went to TOS, and what's happening now, and some went to the PAPW, and some went in other directions. You can kind of see where all of this is still a little bit intertwined with PWA.
Definitely.
With some of the students with the other facilities.
Definitely.
And I find that fascinating because you would think, and I mean, some places, some schools, and it's the cliquey thing, and it's the us versus them thing.
Just like music, huh?
And yes,
Yeah.
and I love seeing that there's still an incorporation of some of those PWA students that are still active and intermingling and still conversating and still handshaking and all of that, because shit can go sour in a fucking heartbeat in wrestling. We all know that.
Yeah.
So I love seeing that some of these relationships are still very alive, and not only that, became factions. Sammy Diaz, Elijah Six, and such.
listen.
I mean, come on, man.
I never expected to have 4 matches in 6 months against Troy Stevens. You know what I'm saying? Like, these things, it's like there's separate. I want to say like, I don't want to say separations. I want to say like diversions, right? And you know, if you're good people and you want to do business and you want to create memories for the audience, like I don't think you necessarily have to like hold on to old grudges. You know, I'm not saying anything about Troy Stevens' grudges at all. I'm saying like old affiliations, and like you don't have to like. It's like I went to Test of Strength. I did not go to PAPW. But then I ended up at PAPW.
Being a champion, for fuck's sake.
You know, wrestling
a fucking champion.
a lot of their new guys. Like, you know, that's...
Oh, my God.
So there's no problem, man. There doesn't have to be a problem all the time.
Yes. Is there heat? No, there's no fucking heat.
I see people put up these posts that are like, I'm so sick of the drama. I don't, like, wrestling is full of sharks and snakes. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't experience any of that. Mm-hmm. And I wrestle plenty, and I don't experience any of that. Yeah. So how come I do and how come you don't?
Right.
Or no, the other way around.
Yeah, the other
how
way.
come I don't and you do?
Right.
Because I'm not buying into that shit. Mm-hmm. Like, we're all here to do the same thing because we love it and want to.
Right.
You know, and some of us are trying to make a career out of it.
Right.
You know, I might be a little long in the tooth to get my WWE deal, but, you know, maybe I could work for the company. Yeah. Maybe I can make a living through professional wrestling in some way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Meanwhile, you got your, you know, Pretty Poppies and your you know, Manny Matrixes and your younger guys who can. And, you know, if I can help them do that, then that's a win for me.
Now, we started off with Training Day 53, and we kind of leaned into talking about some of that younger TOS talent that's coming out of the dojo. Mm-hmm. I see, out of the, again, I don't know if I'm just being biased or whatever here. Unbiased? Unbiased. I don't know if I'm being biased. It's biased. See the grammar thing?
You're wearing the TOS hat.
I know, and I've done plenty of tailgating today. I don't know if it's being biased, but
There's no football, Don.
there is
Tailgating?
one? Oh shit! So the dojo is kind of my home away from home at this point, and I see no heat. I do see differences from one facility to another, to another, to another, to another.
It's just different practices, you know.
And that's why I always say on the STP, please, boys and girls, don't just stay at home.
Mm-hmm.
Move and go hang out at another facility and check it out. And you might find something that's good for you to take in and start getting this other knowledge that TOS might not be teaching the
It
talent.
might not be the thing they're focusing on.
Yes.
Something else is somewhere else.
And everybody, and let's just put it out there. Every promotion says we teach you everything of.
The other thing about it is all these schools, like all these people who run these schools, they want you there also.
Right.
If you're learning, and that's it. Like BAPW, 3D out in Danbury
3D.
with Randy Shawn.
Yeah.
I know that it was. I haven't heard about Landry's in a while, but is it still going?
It is still there as
Awesome.
a facility for training, but not to do the shows like they used to.
Okay. Landry's. There's all these places. You know, you're gonna learn something new and different wherever you go.
Right.
And most of them are open to you've already debuted, you already have a career, so give us this much for this day. Mm-hmm. You know, they're not gonna be like, give me $3,000 to start. You know, like you were a brand new person who didn't do anything.
Right.
So you should. I think you should.
Absolutely.
I definitely think you should.
Now, before we wrap this up, is there any topics that I haven't touched upon? Because we've been here for about 2 hours or so. We even had...
Scott talks for so long.
We even had Scotty fucking Anarchy right here, man.
Loudmouth.
And I interviewed him. Who the fuck knew?
Never shuts up.
Come on. Well, we were talking musica.
I shouldn't have given him an old-fashioned. Loosen up his lips.
Is there any topics that we haven't touched upon? Because what I wanted to do was kind of stray away from the Fraust stuff, because we know a lot of stuff about Fraust, but I wanted to get into some of the other aspects, which we very did. Is there any topics that I haven't touched upon that you thought we'd be talking about tonight?
I just want to, throw out there, and people who know me know anyway, but I just want to reiterate that, LIT and the Headlocks for Humanity Foundation, Al is obviously fighting, some health issues, but when he's good, when he's clear and healthy, there's nobody. It's like Paul Heyman, dude. It's like he is an incredible wrestling mind, and an incredibly giving and caring brother in wrestling. So, once he's ready physically, because of his health, to start putting LIT back on the map, we're gonna do a bunch of stuff. It's gonna be great, and I'm really excited about it because I do invest a lot of my time and effort into it, and that's really my goal, is to be a test of strength, to help all the new guys as much as I can while getting my shit in, It's 1 and 2 at the same time, and then the LIT stuff. PvP I love. It's home away from home, and I'm so grateful for every opportunity they've given me, and I do consider it a genuine second home. PAPW I haven't been to in a little while because I'm a little sore about losing that U.S. title. But I'll work there any day. Any day that I am not otherwise obliged, I will be there, and I'm happy to be there. Jeremy LaCroix is an outstanding talent.
Wait, did you just call
Sylvan
Jeremy LaCroix?
Yeah.
Oh,
is that not how I say it?
That is fucking beautiful. No,
is that not how I say
it's
it?
Jeremy LaCroix, not LaCroix. LaCroix. But I like to call him La Crotchety, La Jackass, all sorts of fun stuff.
I'm gonna have a lot of fun beating him up someday.
Yes! Yes! Please, Frosty, take care of that bum!
You know, and he's like, "Oh, I'm an amateur wrestler." It's like, "So was I, bro." I'm at least 2 weight classes above you. So let's see what happens.
He's the last of his kind, he says.
Okay, we'll see. You know, there's so many places to go to enjoy good wrestling. Just do it. Like, you know, put aside all this bullshit, all these beefs, all these perceived beefs. Like,
there's
just
no heat.
Go see a show, man. No, there's plenty of heat between people who can't get over themselves and can't fucking just enjoy a show. Just leave all that behind. Don't worry about that stuff. It doesn't matter.
So should I entitle this episode, There's Heat? Wait a minute. No, there's no heat. Wait, there's heat. Wait a minute, there's no heat.
Don't entitle this episode that.
Shit stick.
Entitle this episode Drag, Burlesque, and Wrestling. No, don't do that.
Oh, we could do that.
You could.
We could.
But then you have to say Cabba Wrestle because that's where it happens.
Yeah, that is where it happens. April.
We didn't talk about Cabba Wrestle.
No, we did not.
I love Cabba Wrestle.
You've been there.
Several times.
You've performed
their
there.
first several shows.
Yeah.
And I will do it every single time I can. I love it. I think it's fun. I don't do drag or burlesque, unfortunately. Sorry, guys.
Well, hey,
but
thank you for...
I'm not saying I wouldn't.
I don't want to see you in fishnets, my man.
I don't know. I do. No, I come out and I just say, like, what are you doing? This is supposed to be a wrestling show, and then somebody beats me up. It's great.
It sounds.
I got hogtied at the last one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
With furry handcuffs?
No, like.
Oh.
It was Lumberjake.
It was Lumberjake.
Who actually, I would like to apologize, Lumberjake, because I was still dealing with the broken thumb, and it was a really.
Oh no!
It was a really weird day, but we did the best we could. The crowd was into it, and I would love to work with Lumberjake at least one more time and have like a good match, a really good match.
Do you think it would make up for it?
Bro, my thumb was broken, like really broken.
Oh,
like,
shit.
And he had to hog tie my hand. So he's a good kid. He's a good person, and I would like to work with him again.
Awesome.
But yeah.
Good stuff. Boys and girls, we've been here with Ryan Fraust for, I'm going to say approximately 2 hours minus about an hour and 47 minutes with Scotty Anarchy.
No, half an hour with Scott. I was watching. He does talk, though.
We started off with training day, and we got into so many other topics. We even had Scotty Anarchy come in and sit down for about a half hour or so, talking Cabba Wrestle that's coming to Connecticut in April in Hartford. That's something to look forward to. We've talked Lone Survivor 6 coming up March 8th with Team Frosty going against, I guess we're going to call him at this point, Team Medina.
The first class of Test of Strength. That's what we're calling them.
Okay.
I don't want to call them OGs because I'm an OG.
Okay.
They're the first class.
For the new friends that are watching, we want them to be able to find you. So what are the handles for the Twitter, the face page, the Pornhub, whatever you've got kicking?
Done.
No Pornhub.
No.
Huh?
No.
OnlyFans?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, calm down.
Why? What do you want to see? At Ryan F. Wrestles. That's it.
Oh, that's it.
The F stands for Frost.
No, I would hope so. Ryan
F.
Frost.
Wrestles.
This has been absolutely
Always a
amazing.
pleasure.
Catching
Love
up.
you.
It's
Miss
been
you.
a couple years.
Appreciate you always.
I absolutely love you. We can't hug each other tight enough at the shows. It's always a pleasure. And I know we can't.
Hi, Josh. Hi, Karen.
We can always take the pictures because you're busy during the times. But
Sometimes.
love me some Ryan Frost. This is Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid, and I just wanted to do one thing. Holy fuck, we got Manny, and we've got Pretty Poppy now! This is Don Kincaid, Stirring the Pot, with our very special guest, Ryan Frost.